Go live. I'm going to send out our tweet and our Facebook message and get underway. Today we're painting the map you see before you, the Fire Temple, which is really a big torii gate and a big skull surrounded by a bunch of rather simple lava and rocks and stuff. Simple to paint, I mean. Facebook post doesn't look too fancy, but it'll do. Where's my tweet? Did that work? Let's jump straight in, because I feel like I waste enough of your time, future viewers, getting everything started and revving up. And I don't want you to have to search through the first few minutes of the stream to find where it actually starts. My chair says hello with its usual creaking. So, jumping straight in, I think I'm going to make a rather bright lava. Also, this music's a little bit too much for me. Let me move the webcam a bit because my audio is right behind you there. Yeah, down here is good. Okay. We're good. This lava kind of gives me a healthy glow on the webcam. I look like I spend time in the sunlight. And switch back to our Twitch chat so that I'm not neglecting our one viewer. Welcome, viewer. You are the first to join us today. And we're going to start coloring with our land brush. It's not so much a land brush, but that's its purpose today. So I'm going to follow the same coloring style as our ice temple, and we're going to precisely follow the lines, with the exception of these little cracks, I think. None of these colors are final, of course. We're just doing the busy work, and a little later on, just a little later on, I want to get this done in 3 hours or so. A little later on we will choose some nice colors for all these layers. Hey Jack, good morning. It's what time is it here? It's about 3 p. Oh, it's almost 4. Okay, so 20 to 4 here. So it's a late start for me today. Been busy with other bits and bobs earlier in the day. I'm putting together the token pack for Patreon right now. So later today we're going to see the token pack and this Fire Temple pack come out kind of side by side, but I may schedule the Fire Temple pack so that it has a couple of hours in between those two posts. We'll see. But yeah, getting those tokens ready. The token editor, I'm gonna piece that together next month in time for the public release of the tokens. So for now the patrons are just getting a pack of pre-colored tokens, with the promise that the editor's coming along quick fast behind the scenes. 9:40 AM in Slovakia. Oh, good morning to you. See ya, matane. What's the weather like in Slovakia? Just the word alone makes me feel cold. But I guess it's summer up in that hemisphere right now. Or as of tomorrow it will be. Hey Think Clint. Yeah, real early in America, isn't it? Early or late, depending on your point of view. I don't expect too many American viewers tuning in today. I think it's going to be Team Europe and Australia keeping us company today. But there's always some night owls. Always happy to have the night owls here. It's a nice relaxing stream. It's not gonna keep you awake at night. So I'm sure we'll get some American night owls, American Canadian night owls joining us, hopefully. I think Clint being the first. I did edit the follower goal widget that you can see on stream right now. The last few streams we've been shooting for 500 before the 5th of June. But that was literally a number I pulled out of the air, so I gave this one a bit of thought, and I figured let's try and get our microphone gain correct. It's a little bit loud now, it looks like. Testing, 1, 2, that's a little better. What was I saying? Yeah. So I just want to shoot for an even 300 followers by the end of today, which I think we can do. I think we can do it. I might have to go beg on Reddit some more, or Twitter, or elsewhere, but we'll see. If you have any friends who you think might enjoy the stream, please beg on my behalf. We've also changed the radio channel. We tried out the chill radio channel the last few days, but it just wasn't chill enough. So we've stepped another rung down the chill scale, or the excitement scale, and we're trying out the ambient soundtrack again, which we used a few streams ago, and it did a good job. But we're still using Pretzel Rocks, and I'm not completely sold on Pretzel Rocks. We have a 2-week trial, so I figure I'll use it for the duration of the trial, and I'll give it thumbs ups and thumbs downs in order to train it, so to speak, what kind of music we like, and then yeah, at the end of the trial period we'll decide if we want to try something new or stick with it. Looks like we're up to 7 viewers now. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Of course, you can look over here in this corner for an overview of the map, because I'm going to be spending a lot of time at first zoomed right in, following lines, pretty much doing what I used to do in primary school and just coloring in, except I have an expensive stylus now instead of some crayons. Man, I was a little prodigy kid for those coloring in competitions. I think it was about all I was good at though. Hey Ozzy, welcome to the stream. This jumper is a little bit overkill for this weather, so I may have to take a break to peel some layers off, but for now we're fine. Is this a music track from RimWorld? You know, I think I had a mod in RimWorld that added some appropriate music to it, and I bet they sourced it from the same place that Pretzel Rock is finding their copyright-free stuff. So I probably have heard this before in RimWorld. Great game, by the way. If you like sci-fi and you like colony management and kind of town-building sims, highly recommend RimWorld. RimWorld by Tynan Sylvester. You can find it on Steam or on his website. I should chase him up for royalties, shouldn't I? Personally, I adore those games where you're designing little settlements. Kind of scratches the same itch as drawing battle maps and settlement maps, but more challenging because you're trying to keep little minions alive at the same time. Did I play the Jurassic Park game? Was that the theme park building one? If so, I never played the Jurassic Park one. I played the carnival. Like, what was it called? I think it was on the PlayStation 1. Where you built a carnival and tried to make it profitable. There were roller coasters and theme park rides and stuff. There's a new one. No, I haven't played it. I recently played the mobile game that's similar to Pokemon Go, but that's all that I've really played in the Jurassic Park spectrum of video games. Oh yeah, it was good. I think I played a Roller Coaster Tycoon kind of well-made ripoff. It was like theme parks with a bunch of different rides. I remember there was like a Halloween themed theme park that you could make. Yeah, that was great fun. I remember I borrowed that from a friend and then I don't think he ever got it back from me. Sorry friend, I don't even remember which friend. You can kind of see the evidence of my brush pen running out down here. I was complaining a lot about that yesterday on the drawing stream. But we can see these little fibers, the individual fibers showing through. So if someone can remind me at the end of the stream to buy a new pen, then that would be great. Yeah, so if you liked Roller Coaster Tycoon, but instead of building a theme park, you'd prefer to manage a colony of settlers stranded on an alien planet, beset by robots and savages and pirates, then highly recommend RimWorld. It's kind of a toned down, more user-friendly version of Dwarf Fortress. Another game that I adore. You know, this map we're drawing today is actually very evocative of Dwarf Fortress. I used to do all sorts of lava-based traps in that game. So I never had a giant face spewing out lava. You know, actually, I kind of lie. The lava didn't come out of the face, but I did have a giant face as the entrance to my Dwarf Fortress. And then kind of off to the sides there were spouts for spitting lava out. So, close enough. Always loved volcanic fortresses in that game. But definitely a very niche game, Dwarf Fortress. It's like learning to fly a plane, learning to play that game. It's not user-friendly. I think coloring this map is going to be a rather simple affair, because we're not going to have a lot of directional shadows that we have to think about and tweak and get right according to the perspective and all the different objects. It's going to be lit from beneath, so to speak. This lava is going to be the light source. So our color blocks may be rather flat. You might give them a bit of texture, but they're not going to have dramatic shadows on them like the jungle and ice temples that we've done previously. But I am going to play around with like particles in the air and like glowing effects. So where we played around with shadow effects in the last maps, now we're going the other way around and we're going to play with glowing effects. Does this chair go any lower? It does not. But since we're up to 8 viewers, I'd like to pose a question to Twitch chat. What kind of enemies / encounters can you imagine running on this map? I'll give you a brief overview. Like the main components, we have the giant sealed gate in a Japanese style, like a torii gate. And we have a big cliff face. And then we have a big lava pool with a giant stony face emerging. Oh, hey Munchlax, welcome back. That's good timing. We're just getting started. Aza would be cool enemies. You know, I've never heard of Aza before. This is another episode of Twitch Chat teaches Ross about new monsters, I think. I don't think I've ever actually paged through the entire monster manual before. I tend to homebrew everything I use, enemy-wise. Fire dwarves, okay. Like I know about Duragar. So yeah, fire dwarves as like the architects behind this whole thing. That would be badass. If they are Aza, then I wonder what they're keeping behind the gate. Perhaps they're a fortress, right? Or a king's tomb. Or like a highly dangerous prisoner. Yeah, like I could see this as a prison. I'm kind of dubbing them all temple maps, but they could be tombs or prisons or entrances to dungeons. You can use them for anything you please. Please go ahead. But I feel like temple will be good for as like a Google search term. Something that swims in lava, yeah, that's a must. Game night today, okay. Yeah, have fun tonight, Munchlax, and I'll be happy to have you for the half hour. Damn, that sounds awesome, Thick Clint. Fiery beards? I want to play one of those. Hey, I like that, Jack, yeah. Like maybe the actual gate to the battle map is a large trap. But then as Thick Clint suggests, yeah, this fiery mouth is just an illusion guarding the real entrance. Yeah. I just got done running a encounter with fire snakes in my last game, and they were good fun. For a round they had grappled with the druid and were burning him something good, and then he summoned like a rain cloud or a storm. I can't remember the exact ability. And that put him out. Oh, sorry, those were fire eels. I keep forgetting. I went with eels rather than snakes. See, my players are very different, Munchlax. I think even if all the hints were there that the mouth was an illusion, it would take them about 2 hours of talking before anyone decides to test it out. My players are very cautious, and I'm not sure why. It's not like I use a lot of traps or a lot of trickery. My games are actually rather straightforward, but That's just their personality types, I think. Oh, let's not forget that I have this coffee. Hey, S-Man Sam. According to my Twitch statistics, I couldn't tell you how long we've been going because I don't know how to use Twitch yet, but oh, there it is, 20 minutes. You've only missed 20 minutes, so welcome back. We're literally just blocking in colors right now, so just busy work. Nice relaxing busy work, I must say. Oh, it's a nice warm quiet day over here. Still got some coffee left and we're just blocking in some colors with and chatting about fire dwarves. I only see your messages. Well, like I said, Jack, I'm the wrong person to ask, so I hope you can figure it out, but unfortunately I can't help you with that. Maybe if you just refresh the page, that might help. I heard that. Oh, thanks Boomzer for the viewer. I wonder if that viewer is you? Well, that's okay. I'm sure the kind of Twitch algorithm, if such a thing exists, will see that hosting as like as a check mark on my account. So much appreciated. Well, I'm glad that issue isn't happening to me, because it'd be mighty embarrassing if I couldn't see Twitch chat. But I hope you can get it figured out, Jack. Jack 3000. So I'm rather enjoying this channel of music. It's definitely much more chill than the chill track, which likes to mix up its chill tracks with some dance music every now and then. Whereas this is lulling me into a nice little waking sleep. Okay, I've dubbed this the land layer, so I'm just going to block in the entire land portion. But if anyone in chat has any suggestions of other music providers, please let me know, as I am eager to compare my options. This is the last day of May, at long last, and we're working on our last map of May to get it released later today on Patreon. I'm pleasantly surprised that I managed to get through all this stuff in the last week. And then we won't be streaming for 4 to 6 hour blocks at a time next month. It'll be more like 1 to 2 hour blocks at a time, and then I'll also have time to like spend time with my girlfriend and stuff like that. So looking forward to next month. But I'll also look at getting a kind of Twitch schedule worked out. Like, I'd like to start a little earlier than 3 PM, like I did today. But it might change depending on the day. I'll figure it out, and if I can kind of hammer something down, nail something down, then I'll put a little calendar or something. Or I saw MCDM has a countdown until the next stream. I'll figure out how to make a countdown. That's what I'll do. And then I'm still not settled on what we're going to draw next month. Do I have anything in the pipeline? I have a list on my computer. Apparently it hasn't absorbed into my memory yet. But I do want to draw another pack of monster tokens. That'll be good fun. And speaking of monster tokens, I want to start off with just like classic everyday monster packs, like goblins or skeletons or orcs or gnolls. Kind of like we did with the Sahuagin, but I'll draw 10 variations rather than 2. So there'll be a lot of variety in the same pack, like the skeletons. And it'll be a general pack of skeletons, but they might be like a skeletal horse, a skeletal knight, a skeletal griffin. Depends what we're feeling at the time, but the idea is we will hold on a second, I should be doing this a little differently. The idea is they'll have like a real solid theme like that. And then there's no two ways about it. I have to reduce the number of tokens in a pack down to 10, but I think if we do like a goblin pack with 10 unique goblins in it, that's going to be a really solid pack. So I still have to run that by my patrons just to double check they're happy to keep paying for just 10. Nice. Welcome back, Jack. So I kind of wonder if these cracks, if I should probably fill them in on the land layer if I was smarter about that. Yeah, it tends a lot of variety for one. The reason we're in such a crunch time right now is because I tried to push another 20 pack out the door, and we did it. We've got 20 sea-themed packs, and it's a real solid token pack, I think. But it's been a rush to get anything else out this month. These 3 temples we've been working on have been a real crunch time workload. So yeah, I think it'll be a good balance if we do 10 tokens per month, and then I'll have time for something more exciting than a battle map. We'll put out a map asset pack, or something papercrafty, another little 3-dimensional house or something. I do want to get back to the papercraft stuff. I have a lot of ideas I want to work on. So there's a plan for next month. We'll delve back into papercraft a tad, just for one of the items. I've been meaning to make like a second story for our papercraft house. And there may be another pack. Well, there's an idea that I'm going to keep to myself for now because it might not work at all. I don't want to disappoint anyone. And then a token pack. We'll pick a nice fun theme for the token packs, and then we'll do another battle map. What kind of battle map do I feel like? Or a town map. It's been a while since I did a town map. And I've been playing a the tiniest bit of Total War 3 Kingdoms. I really like the town layout in there. It's been found some good inspiration, so I might do like a study battle map working from one of those towns. Yeah, I really enjoyed the papercraft stuff, and I've had a lot of ideas in my back pocket for a long time. That last papercraft house we put out, that's just the beginning, literally just the foundations of a much larger kind of set that I'd like to finish off. Okay, this X here, what was that for? I think it was for the inside of the eyeball. Let's jump in there a bit, because I do want to remove some of these lines. This is eye holes. Get back to the land layer. What size brush were we using? Something like this. Oh, and our actual X, we should probably get rid of that too. Bye-bye. And we also need to isolate this lava. Rocky Desert. People have been asking for a desert battle map for a while now. Seems to be many more. Yeah, I mean, I know deserts are much more popular than the kind of battle map scene tends to suggest. Yeah, something appropriate for a Western map, exactly. By the way, that sounds like an awesome game. Yeah, some cowboy Badlands. Actually, I finished off Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4 recently, and my next game in the funnel is Red Dead, the new one. So, yeah, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for inspiration in that. So it might be good timing for some Badlands. Whew, I'm a bit yawny today, sorry everyone. chill music is too powerful. Maybe so. Or maybe this... I think it's a combination of leaving my coffee a little bit too late in the day and this jumper being too warm. It's actually about 20 something degrees outside. And this is a big old thick jumper, so might step out to take it off or swap it for a lighter jumper. Wonder if this crack is going to be too strange a shape. Kind of don't like it. In fact, I just want this rounded shape here. I keep talking about taking the jumper off, but the jumper's made me too sleepy to take the jumper off, so it's a bit of a catch-22, I guess. I also want to fix this up, this kind of rock bundle. This bunch of rocks bothers me. It doesn't really resemble much, except a bunch of lines. Voila. Okay. Quite like the composition. I think we might push the lava in here. Out of the way. Yeah, those PlayStation 4 games are not cheap, are they? That's why I usually stick to the indie games like RimWorld. That was 20 bucks, and I've got something like 400 hours in RimWorld. It's a pretty good value, right? Okay, that looks good to me. Still just temporary colors, but then I have this separate layer here for individual stones. So we're going to use this. The stones important enough that we gave them a highlight. Oh, and you know what? We need the glow in the mountain too. We need a layer for that. But for now, we're just gonna block in some stones. And I'm gonna make them a much more contrasting color so that we can spot them. How about a really disgusting green? Disgustingly bright green. We choose such bright colors so that I can more easily see that I'm staying within the lines. Although for these stones it's not so important. Yeah, the vile green placeholder color. It's doing its job. So all of his teeth are going to be vile green for now. Oops. Look at this shoddy line work. Let's fix that up. Ooh, sorry guys, this jumper's gonna have to come off. Please, I'll be back in less than a minute. 1 second, please. And we're back. Audio looks fine, if a bit loud. Let me adjust that. Which way am I going with this thing? Down, 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 down. Right about here. That'll do. Testing. Okay. Yeah, Munchlax. So we did ink this with traditional media, pen and paper. The reason I don't use the tablet is just because I like the look, and I think it's kind of a 2-minute tabletop style at this point to have traditionally inked in lines. We have all these little scratchy imperfections, and especially over here we have little changes in the opacity and just we've got some ugly bits too, but a healthy amount of ugly bits that just adds to the overall effect. So it's just a stylistic choice. It's definitely much more inconvenient. Like if I didn't have to set up that hand cam every time, then that would cut a good half hour out of the work process. But I like it too, and it's nice having a big book full of maps in the back room as well. But yeah, most of all it's just because it's my style at this point. And I think tagging things hand-drawn is kind of advantageous as well. Yeah, I feel much cooler now. Good decision. That said, there are certain things that I draw with the stylus, tokens namely, and occasionally the papercraft stuff too will be drawn digitally. Basically whenever you see me using Leonardo, we're doing line art, because I like that app a lot for line art than Photoshop for coloring. I'm sure I could reproduce all of Leonardo's effects in Photoshop if I wanted to, but Leonardo just works really well with a pressure sensitive tablet out of the box. And it's just super simple and can't get distracted by all these elements and stuff, so that's why I like Leonardo for that. So basically anywhere where we've defined a stone, in fact, I just want to put this within the lands layer. Anywhere where we've outlined a stone completely, like here, that's where I want to put this. And then later on it won't be bright green, it'll just be a slightly different colored stone. And it'll just help us vary up this big floor space with some different colors and shades. Here's a little imperfection in the scan. A piece of dust or hair or something. So I just clean those up as I find them. Oh yeah, no mouse, I'm using this guy. I used to have some mad mouse skills before I invested in a tablet. Especially when I was a kid, I did a lot of pixel art, and I just drew that with the mouse. Played a lot of FPSs too. So man, was I a whiz back in the day. But yeah, I'm never going back to painting with a mouse, that's for sure. Yeah, Munchlax, I highly recommend Leonardo. It's made for tablets and like the Microsoft Surface, where it puts all of your tools right next to your thumb, and all the buttons are like thumb sized, so it's basically made for what you're looking for. And yeah, I'd give it a shot, although I think it's about 15 bucks, so it's up to you. Yeah, if a hand-drawn battle map is a attractive tag, perhaps mouse-drawn battle map is even more impressive. Yeah, at the very least, I think they have a little intro video on their website, the URL being getleonardo.com. Then you can watch the video and decide if it's what you're looking for. But I, for one, I even use it on this, which isn't a touch-sensitive tablet, so I'm still just tapping all the controls with my stylus. But when I'm working on the Surface and I've got all of those at my fingertip, and I can like twist the canvas with 2 fingers or pinch zoom, super convenient, and it's super lightweight. Like I can do all those things in Photoshop, but Photoshop is just a bit too heavy for my 2 or 3 year old Microsoft Surface. Whereas Leonardo, it's just the basics, just what you need. There's certain elements of maps which I draw with the mouse. Sometimes when the map's done and I'm just adjusting colors, I'll pack up the tablet and put it away, and only then will I see something that needs doing on the map, so I'll very clumsily make that edit with the mouse. But you'd never be able to tell. They blend in too well. I like this green. I think we'll keep the rocks this green color. What do you all think? You know, like a map variant where all of this is acid, that might be fun. Ooh. The awning just adds to the chill atmosphere, I hope, right? should probably work at this. I should work at this zoom level more often because I can get more done with smaller hand movements. It's an interesting idea. Much like it is that kind of glow in the dark green, isn't it? Can you imagine having a battle map where the answer to the puzzle is like super meta, like the players have to stand up, turn off the lights to reveal a secret element of the battle map in glow-in-the-dark ink. Like the hint will be something like, pray to the gods that the light go out and reveal the way forward. And the players have to be like the stand-in for the gods to put the light out. Ooh. Yeah, too hard to work out. I agree. Especially when you try and every session you're trying to get your players to think and act more and more in character to then surprise them with an out of character solution. Boop, 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 boop. How is the audio levels on the music today? Is it audible? I can hear it, but I've done it before where it's muted for Twitch and I'm just listening to it all by myself. Quarter of my voice? Well, if you can hear it at all, then it's probably loud enough. I just want something to fill the silence. So I started talking about it before, but I didn't finish my train of thought. After this trio of temples are done and we've got all of our May month maps out, I'm going to take a short break to catch up on housework and all the other things I've let fall off the wagon in order to get these maps done. And then I'll be back on, I think, Wednesday, because I have plans for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday, tomorrow. I'm just going to take a break. Have to take a break after 3 maps in 3 days. It's been fun, but I can feel it right now in my neck, and when I woke up this morning in my back. I should do some research into ergonomics for artists. I've seen all sorts of kind of tablet setups. My eyeballs too. So I'll just have a chill out day tomorrow, but I'll see if I can stream something short and fun on some of those days, like a 10-minute little art tutorial like I've done on YouTube before. Just kind of premiere on Twitch, and then with its eventual home being on YouTube. And then after those, almost a week break, we'll come back and work on maybe the monster tokens first, maybe the papercraft, or I guess I'll be thinking during those days what we want to draw together. But if you have any suggestions, please do let me know. Okay, now that we've made it down here, I want to do something with this shape, because it's a big ugly shape. I think that's gonna probably do the trick. It just had too many lines before and it didn't make any sense as a shape. Just random lines. Yeah, that's something. That's, well, like I said, that's something now. Something's better than nothing. Is it getting warmer as the sun's going down? This is rather strange. Maybe it's because I closed the door. Oh, excuse me. so all these rocks we're painted green right now are just going to be like a slightly different shade to kind of get the appearance that they're catching some far off light. And that's going to help add the variety to our big area of rocky expanse. So it's going to be subtle, but it's going to be worth all the work. Just wait and see. You know why I'm yawning so much, and probably the reason why I'm so warm, is because of the massive lunch I just had. A whole bunch of curry and rice. It's the digestion happening. So as soon as all those carbs are processed, then I'll wake right up. I wonder if I should play around with these ones. Some of them, some, not all. Now I wonder if this Torii gate will be painted or if it will just be the same color as the surroundings. Like if it'll be carved of the same rock of the mountain. I imagine this whole area is going to catch our highlight. Since I want it to be the same stone as the mountain, just hewn very smoothly to act as a pathway. And then it's crumbling on here because our big face is pressing up through. Decide later if the door's gonna follow that color scheme. I imagine this light source that's lighting these highlights up as kind of being behind the mountain, since it's catching these stones here on that side. Then again, it is catching these stones here, so maybe it's just a vague light source from above. But even if it's a vague light source from above, the angle of the door will probably exempt it from being colored this ugly green. Okay, so I've found where the timer for the stream is, so it's interesting to keep an eye on how long we've been going. Our ice temple, the coloring stage took 4 hours. Maybe it was 6 hours altogether, because there was a part 1 and 2, but the part 2 transitioned into the preparation for this map. altogether I think the Ice Temple took 5 or 6 hours and the Jungle Temple took 4.5. So this one, knowing that it's gonna have much more simple lighting, and I've also done some of the work already on the lava texture, I'm gonna aim for 3 hours. Aiming for 3 hours. It's almost 5, so 6 to 7. Yeah, I finish at 7, in time for dinner. After dinner, publish the tokens and this map to Patreon. And then I'll start my little holiday. Yeah. I think this helmet, kind of I imagine this face being made of stone as well, but we might isolate it from the general stone layer so that we can be more precise with our highlights and shadows. Just so we can lift it out of this kind of flat area. Give it a much more distinct rounded shape to the helmet. And try and get the facial structure right too. That's going to be a fun challenge. So what's everyone up to? I see we have 8 viewers. I don't imagine any of you are just watching the stream and doing nothing else. Boomsy, you're probably drawing something, aren't you? Let's pack it in, make dinner. Lucky for me, I'm too full to even think about dinner yet. So two more hours of drawing will be an easy thing. And I still got a half mug of coffee too. I've got to put this away before 6 PM I think. Otherwise bad things will happen, supposedly. Shadows of the Empire. I haven't heard of that actually. I need to figure out, maybe I can get like a tray that goes under the desk where I can pull out the keyboard, like a drawer, keyboard shelf. Because I'd love to have my keyboard closer at hand. Right now it's hidden behind the tablet and I have to kind of thread my left arm between the microphone and the tablet if I want to reach it. So I'd love to be able to look things up on Google just at a moment's notice, or actually name my layers. But as it stands now, I can pretty much hold the Alt key and the Control Shift and all the little Photoshop shortcuts, but it's no good for other keyboard business. Oh nice, some 64 games. Trying out Leonardo. Yeah, let me know how you like it, Munchlax. For me, it's just right for line art. I haven't ever used it for coloring, so I'm not sure what your intentions are, but for line art, it does a fine job. Just as soon as you learn where everything is on that column, so you can just kind of blindly tap it with your thumb. And then, yeah, once you get the feel for it, it's super convenient. Great little sketching app. Actually, I use Leonardo when I need a map real fast for my D&D game. I'll just do line art only on a Leonardo, and because the line art, I like the character that it kind of gives the lines. So you can scribble something out really quickly in Leonardo, and it still looks like you put some effort into it. Oh, you like it? Hey, I'm glad. I often forget that it costs $15, so I'll kind of sell someone on it, and then later on remember, oh wait a second. If they don't like it, then I've kind of coerced them into spending that money now. And then I don't feel so great, but glad you like it. Yeah, SP and Sam, I've been getting a real kind of craving for some nostalgic games. For me, I've been considering, like, I was kind of brought up on the PlayStation 1, so for me it's the Crash Bandicoot remake and the Zelda, not the Zelda one, the Spyro the Dragon remakes. Getting a real urge to dive into some of those games. Like Crash Bandicoot remake on the Switch, that would be really nice actually. Just playing that before I go to bed. I remember, since it was kind of my introduction to video games, I remember thinking those games were so hard, but I probably just breeze through now. Close to platinuming. Yeah, that's what I'd love to do. Like a little homage to where I began with video games. Be a good one to platinum. I want to platinum Spider-Man first. I'm really close to that. Oh, you can try it for free. Oh, it's $40 now. Okay. Yeah, I must have got it in kind of the beta period or the early access or whatever. But you can try it for free? Well, if you can try it for free, then I don't mind selling people on it. Oh, that Spider-Man game, super slick. Yeah. Even I finished the campaign and I'm just wrapping it up with the last few achievements, but even now the combat just feels so good. Satisfying. And then the web slinging. They just nailed it. I'm a bit late to the party on Spider-Man, but having a ball playing it for sure. Okay, let's start thinking about what layer we'll work on next, since these ugly green rocks are coming to a conclusion. Animation and Games channel. Well, if you're allowed to, can you link me that in chat? Because that sounds right up my alley. I adore learning about game design, and especially animation and texturing and all sorts of kind of the artistic side to it. It's kind of odd that we only have rocks on the right hand side, but oh well. So next up I'll do let's borrow this ugly green color since we're enjoying it so much. and make a cracks in the wall section. Yeah, that Into the Spider-Verse movie, that's that thing is a work of art. And a game, yeah, a game would be awesome fun. This line is a little bit messy, a bit superfluous, so we're getting rid of it. But we might bring it back if we need more space. But this, well, since we are done with these rocks, let's change them to an okay color, something like that. See, so this is what I was talking about. They're just going to be a different shade of our general color, but they're going to add variety. They've got an important role, despite being a very subtle element. So with this color, we're filling in the cracks of our cliff. New Frame Plus, I think I've seen one or two of their videos. I'll check it out. Yeah, I think I saw their one on the Mario jump. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but yeah, for a long time I dreamed of making video games myself. And even to this day, I'm still wildly interested in the industry. But even if I'm 100% satisfied with D&D maps, this is a pretty good track. It's rather D&D. Give that a thumbs up. If you all hear any music that you like, let me know and I can thumb it up and we'll hear more like it in the future. Yeah, I don't have any games in the works, S-Man Sam, but I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. You know, kind of my pipe dream game that I'd love for someone to make is like a Zelda-themed Pokemon Go, because I still adore Pokemon Go just for the simplicity of it. And kind of the collecting nature, but I want that, but with the Minish from the Minish Cap instead, and like probably like Octoroks and all the other little Mogoblins. What are they called? Bokoblins, that's the one. All those fun little creatures. I think that would be awesome. I hope Nintendo's. Are there any Nintendo employees watching this stream? Please take notes. Tactical RPG project. Oh, I love tactical RPGs, so please keep me in the loop about that, Munchlax. Like XCOM, Fire Emblem. I love that sort of turn-based combat game, and then I played Total War 2, which is not turn-based real time. Although I kind of play it like a turn-based one with all the pausing I do. I love strategy games that I can take my time with. Yeah, that's a sweet idea, S-Man Sam. There was a pretty hurriedly put together game like that. I saw it on YouTube, but I can't remember the name. It was kind of like Apex Legends, where it was super viral for about a week. People streaming it left, right, and center, and then it disappeared after that. I used to play as a species of dinosaur and then do stuff. That's about as much details as I could give. Just a curiosity I stumbled upon and then quickly forgot about. Oh yeah, that'd be sweet. Okay, Munchlax, have a good one. Good luck. Sounds like fun. Yeah, catch up with you next stream. Have a good one. So these cracks are pretty cool. They're a little bit imbalanced. There's a lot over this side, not a lot over this side. Maybe I can convert this one into a crack, and then this kind of large crack will balance it out. Yes, man. Sam. Oh. I was beginning to get a bit worried. Oh yeah. There's some really like anime looking artsy fartsy clouds outside my window right now. You know when the clouds look like somebody painted them on the sky? That's what it looks like outside. Okay, this is looking reasonably balanced. Yeah, Boomzo, that's the one. The aisle. So I'm not sure if that was kind of like a DayZ thing where they built a popular prototype and then just let it go. Maybe it's not going anywhere, but they made a lot of exciting promises. So yeah, S-Man, I'd recommend you look up the aisle if you haven't heard of it, though you probably have. I think we can afford to sneak this in here. I'm also gonna skip this song. Kind of hypnotizing me. Yeah, playing as dinosaurs, that's good fun. The bard in my group, my D&D group, knows it. He took, what is it? His magical mastery ability, just to get polymorph, just so he could be a Tyrannosaurus. Okay, what next? Well, let's... Oh, this stone needs some fixing. You know, it actually took me most of my life to get into dinosaurs, but just earlier this year, literally earlier this year, it occurred to me, you know what, I think dinosaurs are pretty cool. So I'm late to the party. I wasn't one of those kids that are wild about them. Actually, let's make this a bright color. Make it easier to paint. Dinosaur tattoo. But then you have to choose a favorite dinosaur, I imagine. Like, does one spring to mind immediately? Shall we do the plaques separately? Yeah. This will be our general body of the gate. T-Rex, nice. I can't even imagine what kind of bite force that is, but it's a big number. I'm impressed. For a little while I played the Pokemon Go clone, that the Jurassic Park themed one. My username was Tyrannosaur Ross. Thought that was clever. In case you didn't know, my name's Ross. So I'll keep that name in my back pocket for when you put out your dinosaur MMO, and I'll be the one and only Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, that was a really solid game. It has a lot of design elements that I much prefer to Pokemon Go. Like, you don't have to be precisely on a location to interact with it. You can be up to 150 meters away, but you get a bonus for being right on top of it. So I thought that was very clever, because then and also the points of interest weren't based on real life locations. They were just kind of placed based on an algorithm, I imagine, placed along roads and paths and that sort of thing. So there was a lot more to interact with in, like, places that are dead in Pokemon Go. Nothing to do. So, and besides that, the actual dinosaur models, awesome. And like the augmented reality where you can place that dinosaur in like a real world and take pictures of it. Yeah, loved it. But sadly, I only have space for one virtual creature catching game in my life. Yeah. T-Rex walk cycle. You know, dinosaurs, they must be awesome fun to animate. There's no like real world reference unless you count like emus and other large birds, like flightless birds. So I guess it takes some creativity to do. The rig, like is that a 3D model? Yeah. Imagine that's a large file. I guess it depends on like the level of detail. Oh, the rig is the like the skeleton, right? Yeah, I'm kind of catching up. Not all the textures and stuff. Am I correct there? Oof, I need to put this below this layer. Okay, we have a very ugly flat Torii gate now. I think we're gonna start with some more involved coloring very soon. Oh, that sounds sweet. Think Clint, this canvas is 16 by 23 inches at 300 dpi. So in all it's 4800 by 6900 pixels. Yeah, I guess next I want to work, let's jump straight into the lava. Actually, I don't recommend jumping into lava, but let's grab my lava texture and start working with that. So I have, we worked on this on YouTube, I believe. It's a lava texture. And I haven't used this in anything yet, so I thought this was the perfect time to work with it. Now it's going to be more involved than just plopping it in here. In fact, I have to snap it to the grid first. 10 by 10 texture is what it is, which is this big. And I'm just going to go ahead and flatten that. Okay, that does help with the reference to S-Man's Dam. Damn. It's a big mouth. Yes. Flatten, please. Merge layers. That's the one. So we're not done with this lava because what I have theorized or plan to do is have a very, very hot, like yellows, white hot area close to the face, and it's going to radiate outwards to a cooler red. So it's not going to be this repeating texture for long. I think the fill layers might help, but I work with fill layers for different reasons than kind of optimization. But yeah, you need quite a powerful PC to work with big canvases, I know that much. So I'm gonna let's just start out with a solid color layer, and then we'll block in our banana yellow. Now we get to jump into the fun brush. I believe it's this one. Yeah. So this will be real hot. And I think I'm snapping to the grid. Let's get rid of the grid and turn snap off, just to be sure. This is going to get more complex as we go on, but we're just having rather simple yellow now to figure out. Oh, that's creepy. It's like he's looking at me. He's like directly crying out to the players to end his agony. That's kind of disturbing. Okay, so this will be our brightest part. I'll keep that because I want these areas to be distinct, since I like the eyeball glow that we have. Then we'll have a secondary one. which we can just reduce the opacity for now, but we'll get more technical later. This will be for the extra hot section, kind of radiating out from here, very roughly done. Least favorite dinosaur is the Spinosaurus? What did he do to deserve that title? So we can see in the thumbnail layer kind of the effect that this is eventually going to achieve. A big heat map gradient going out from the face. Maybe this will just be like an overexposed area that's like super bright, and that'll really suggest heat. Oh, in Jurassic Park 3, yeah. More crocodile-esque. I think I remember catching him in that Jurassic Park Pokemon Go game, right? Was he quite a common one there? He like stood very horizontal with a big thick tail, but a very crocodile-like mouth. We can sparingly use our blur smudge brush here, and I think very sparingly. I quite like the scratchy brush. It's a good substitute for fiery energy kind of stuff. Plus, it just has a nice painterly effect. Yeah, the T-Rex biting you. I guess that's kind of like a laser cutter. Gonna take a chunk out. Oops. Just want to make sure this is filled in case we do fun things with opacity later. So I'm thinking like not like that at all. Probably just a normal. We just have to work a bit to get this color right. And around the edge, what I might do is just have a mask on this one, and then we'll erase around the edge and have that background color show through. So this lava around the edge is kind of calmed down and it's not so active, crazy, fiery. Yeah, I feel you, S-Man Sam. For me, it's movies that don't respect like medieval siege tactics, and I know there's a lot of people like me. If like the battle tactics in a large-scale battle don't make strategic sense, it's like, oh, I just can't watch this anymore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't get me started. What Booms has said. I did watch Game of Thrones. I guess with the bite force of a T-Rex and the battle tactics of an army, you just kind of have to let fantasy rules apply. Like, I guess in that cinematic universe, like, yeah, in the Jurassic Park world, T-Rexes just don't bite that hard. And in the Game of Thrones world, you know, logic doesn't apply to siege battles. Whew, yeah. But speaking of lava, this lava's coming along pretty alright. And yeah, suffice to say I didn't like Season 8 or a substantial portion of before, but I'm remedying it by reading through the books for the first time. I kind of got through a good portion of the books in audiobook form, but I'm actually, now that I have a habit of reading every night before bed, catching up on the books. And yeah, kind of imagining that George will get around to finishing them all is a great comfort after what happened to the TV show. Yeah, 8, like, obviously I don't have all the details, but it seems really just thoughtless, I guess, carelessly made. Not everyone, just the writing alone. Everything else was pretty spot on. They're suggesting some kind of shape to this lava fall where it's rolling over his cheek. I guess, what is this bone? Not a cheekbone. Head side bone. I guess it doesn't really make sense because we're kind of casting a shadow on lava when lava is a light source itself. Yeah, I know which situation you're talking about. It was beautiful. I think this edge needs to be extra hot too, maybe? Nah, changed my mind. Oh, it's getting quite dark, isn't it? I mean, the light in the real world getting quite dark. Let's push this even hotter. And I think I'll do that with like a vivid light layer. Is that gonna fly? Or is it soft light? I think what we need to do, I mean, the hottest lava will be that kind of gold yellow. And then this lava will be a little bit more orange. We're gonna get these colors right, but it may not happen right now. Although it does have to happen today. I think we just need to use our color picker, steal this color from our general texture, and see if that works. Okay, this one can brighten up. Hold on, there's still a soft light. Yeah, that was a dark episode in a literal sense. Then we want this red to be this red. Here. Kind of jumping the gun, playing around with the lava so much right now. I do want it to... I want to get it right. Lava's tough. Basically anything that's its own light source is tough. Like right now, this mouth area doesn't look bright. And this is probably the reason, because we need to push it further into the green spectrum. And I think even there's going to be a lot more that goes into making this lava look right. But at least for now we can just fiddle around a bit. Kind of, we've got to be careful using too many gradients because it kind of makes it look more watery. Like a watery lava. Oh, hey Mithrils, welcome back. Yeah, Google Images of lava, I should get to that. There's a new Godzilla movie? It's news to me. I'm gonna have to check that out. Are we out of coffee yet? No, we still got some left. Will do, think Clint. I know if we were going with realistic lava, that'd be much more... it'd be kind of cooler looking in... What am I trying to say? It wouldn't be so liquid, it would be more of a rolling, goopy substance. So we have some doing ahead of us. I want to just ignore this top half of the map, but if I change this layer down here to be semi-transparent, I'm just wondering what our eventual color for the stones will be, or if we'll keep this very dark stuff. I'm gonna have to definitely check that out. Yes, man. See him. Okay, what are we neglecting up here? Let's do some work up here. Let's get a general shadow layer going. Since it's exceedingly flat right now. Just before we do that, I just want to play around with a lava mist. I probably want this even above the line art. And then, just like we did with our icy temple mist, I'm gonna throw some hot red gradients over here. We might have to mix some actual particles in here too. I think it might look better just in the color. It's like an ambient glow in like the particles of the air. It does reduce the contrast. Something to play with later. Yeah, I like this cool color for the stones, as it I feel like there'd be a very harsh contrast between the lava shining below, and then this side of the stone would be effectively in the shade. So it's going to be rather cool. The inside of his mouth and like the edges facing the lava would be all aglow. So that. But you know what we need to do is find where we have our land layer here, and we're gonna using a gradient kind of get a bit of glow of the lava shining on the rocks. So not using a gradient start to finish, but I always kind of start with a gradient to get the areas in. So I think these areas just need to be painted in, but do want quite cool rocks just so that our players can like run across them. So the blue color is useful for that. At least to make them look cool. These rocks can remain nice blue color, but here these will be the areas where the glow of the lava is kind of falling upon the land. So we're going to get this big brush and do our kind of scratchy land texture. This will make much more sense when we convert these into like a semi-transparent layer like this. But this is our opportunity to give the stone shape, like form, give it some form, just by defining where the light's falling on it. So you can see the difference between the two sides, what this little step adds. Yeah, I'll definitely see that at S-Man's. I think I already said that actually. Excuse me for repeating myself. And I think maybe even this lava will be casting a glow up here. We'll see how that looks, but for now we're going to keep our walls in dark. with the direction of brush, we're kind of sculpting our stones into the shapes that we need. So this is his rounded helmet here. Kind of search for the right colors for each little scratch I make. So this kind of dual purpose step. We're adding texture and we're sculpting shapes. Oh yeah, I like that harsh glow right immediately where the lava is touching the surfaces. So like down here. Sculpt a little bit of a jaw shape down here. And of course inside his mouth, let's not forget that. Need like a middle red for here. This stark transition between the red and the rock color, it's actually quite effective. We have like an even hotter red, a little bit. Sparingly scratch that in there. So this will be interesting because getting the shapes of the facial bones to work. First of all, that's a bit too dark. So this is quite a flat plane, and then it's going to get brighter for this nasal ridge. Just because the angle will be catching more light. Maybe even super bright. Like these little edges. I'm gonna need a different brush for this step. These little edges, those will be maybe even our super bright color. And here, we'll be catching much more light. Okay, I'll take your word for it, yes, man. I need to do stuff. That'll do. I can afford to drop the brush size a bit. Here, still get plenty of texture with a smaller brush. And then kind of figure out the little gum shapes. So I guess they're not gums. Gums are flesh. But the nodules in the skull that house the teeth. And like this ridge down here is going to be very bright, so working with a kind of a 200. Does it look suitably agonized? I think so. Still have to work with the actual colors. I think we can sneak some little shapes in here in kind of the middle range. Like, I guess this whole edge here would be kind of a middle. Even like coming up onto the tooth. Finish off our dirt, more or less. Like I'm imagining somewhere up here it's going to start catching the light of the lava. What happened up here, Ross? What layer is causing that effect? Did we just not finish off our stones? Oh no, it's because we reduced the opacity. Yeah, okay. So we have semi-transparent stones. Well, we don't need those. Not for now. We'll figure that out in a bit. I guess this these cracks will be casting a faint glow. But also what I want to do, now that we have a general light layer, have like a general shadow layer. Oh, look at us. I don't even know what kind of word that is. Neon, that looks. So we're gonna take this all the way up here. I'm glad you like it. I'm not entirely satisfied with it right now, but we shall see. What I want to do is exclude all of our lava from this. So all the land. We're just going to cast shadow upon the land. So I guess we can just put this in here, in fact. Yeah, I'm sure it will work better when I puzzle with the colors a bit. In fact, I want this below here even. So give me a darker color, please. Also gonna just kind of boost this webcam brightness a bit. Sure, why not? Okay, we'll work with something very dark for now. And, oops. We'll try not to accidentally work with a gray tone, but a white one. So, as I did before, I'll start with some gradients. Just kind of figure out where... Yeah, you know what, I'll forego the gradients because we'll just use a big brush instead. So pretty much want a shadow around the edge here. Maybe a little at the corners of the door. In there, just figuring out a large... Well, we're figuring out the shape of our shadow. Because in everything we do, we want to... Our priority is a nice shape. Interesting shapes everywhere. I wonder if we should sneak some shadows into these islands. I think we just need some general texture on the islands, so we'll do that. We will do that soon. Maybe a little shadow under the nasal ridge. But it is a fun battle map to work with. Very dramatic lighting. Very dramatic subject matter, I guess. Would all these just be cast in shadow? No, they just wouldn't be cast in light. Difference there. So I've kind of lost where our light is. There it is. Because we're going a bit wild in certain places. Well, thanks for saying so, Mithrils. I think after feeling really good about the last two temples, I'm just very critical today. Well, the troubling thing is I have to get it out today, so I won't be able to take my usual 8 hours sleep before I review the map, before I actually post it. This one's going to be available on Patreon later today. Where's our light over here? So I think I'm going to steal this very vague light color and just use it to give these platforms a little bit of something. The trouble is keeping them appearing flat, so I think we'll just use very horizontal brush strokes. That'll do the trick. Horizontal, so we're going to place some horizontal brush strokes and then we're going to erase some horizontal brush strokes. And with those two steps we'll get a pattern, if all goes well, that doesn't resemble a bunch of brush strokes. And now we're going to erase. Be rather pedantic with our erasing. So we're just sneaking a little bit of texture in here. with like an ambient light. See, if I'm very light with this stylus, then I can get a very subtle shade. Okay, so that's a whole lot better than before. It's quite interesting without this glow. I think what I need, I think what I don't like about this face, excuse me while I shift my position, is that the light isn't dark enough. It's like there's too much of a gradient. Whereas what I want, what I think would be better, would literally be 2 shades, one red and one blue. So we'll have hot stuff right next to the lava. Maybe like a middle shade in the middle, but have a much sharper transition into the cool areas. Like what we used to have on this jaw down here. So then we're gonna scratch that back. I think our middle red will be appropriate for this kind of nasal area. Maybe even, yeah, hotter. And then a middle red for this, like, jowl, I think is the correct term. Right here, this would kind of be cast in shadow by the rocks. Just a tad, like so. A little bit here too. This rock would be more shadowy, perhaps like a middle. Did I just undo and redo the same thing there? I'm not sure. This looks like a ridge to me. That rock deserves a little bit of light since it's at that angle. And then what two? I think this would be yeah. That looks hot, right? Down there. Definitely want to avoid falling down. Maybe just this one does the trick. Maybe we can use this one very subtly. Okay. Well, the fact that this looks okay without any glow layer at all suggests to me that this glow layer should probably be rather, or we can get away with using it rather more subtly. And here, and maybe even, bear with me while I experiment a bit. Oh, that's pretty cool in its own way. Like, I think I want to try keeping the rocks very blue, then we'll just have just the slightest bit of glow right where the lava's touching the rocks. Or even do what we have here, where we haven't even included land layer, where we've just shown the lava through the middle there. That won't do it. Okay, well, I'm going to disable that for now, and then what I have in mind is we'll take a 50% opacity, maybe 20, maybe 80%. So this is glowing with the same color. I guess it's almost like a mirror surface if we do that. Yeah, excuse me while I puzzle. I think we need to separate this glow into two bits. It's going to be this is going to be our minor glow, and then right on top of that we'll have a major glow. Oof. Just get it approximate for now. Okay, so this major glow is going to follow all the areas which are going to catch a hell of a lot of lava light. Here, it's going to go up here above that. Yeah, I like this. I like this track. Have I thumbs up this one yet? Let me see. So this light layer is going to overpower all the shadows, and it's going to be just like a rim light. I guess that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not so good with the artistic terminology. Thanks for saying so, Gweebles, and welcome to the stream. Wake up early enough. Yeah, we're streaming rather late tonight, so luckily that means our early risers in the US can join in. Get a decent preview over here. We've got a lot of work to do. I'm far from happy with it, but it is looking cool. We've got a good kind of base down. And there'll be a bit of a light right here. Oh, let's not neglect his other eye. So our plan is it should look sufficient with just this layer. And then this one will kind of support it. Because part of me wants to repurpose this layer as something completely different, as almost like a shadow. It's just as like a blue mottled texture layer down in here. So yeah, I guess it's kind of like a camera effect where, like a HDR effect, right? Maybe somewhere in here. Yeah, okay. I'm more happy with that. Let me compare. Quite like it. Quite like it. Because I did always want a stark contrast between the lava and the land. And having this general glow just a little bit muddies that. So this makes it look hot in the lava and bearable outside the lava. Almost 6 AM. Dang. Thanks for joining us. This needs to be more red. Now, moving on. Moving on. What was I moving on to? I've forgotten. I also don't like the kind of watery effect that we've created with the gradients in the lava, so let's work on that a bit. I think what we need, the lava closest to the land is going to be cooler. I think that makes sense. So we shall take this color, our edge color, and make a new layer up here. And just like cool this lava down a bit. Perhaps we can even use it to suggest like a bulge in the lava, because lava isn't watery. It's like a goopy, viscous, lumpy stuff, so there's going to be a shape to it, a bulge where the face is coming out. So I think that's why it looks too watery, because it was super flat before. If we can give it a bulge, some form, then that will help. Now we can see the difference here. That's remedied what I was looking at, where it looks super watery near the edges. So, and I think it's going to also be cool, kind of the little areas between these islands. Now, the other risk we run is making it even more watery by suggesting like a sub, like the rest of these rocks beneath the surface. We don't want it to look transparent, we just want it to look cooler. So we'll see what we can achieve, because it's easy enough to erase this if we change our mind. And we mustn't forget to give it that bulge I was talking about. Also, what we need to do is mix in some blurs. Just a handful, a scattering of blurs. I'm also mindful that I've mixed up this lava. All of our lava is split across a large number of layers now, which is going to make tweaking the colors rather more difficult. But when I'm still learning how to draw a thing, that's what tends to happen, so it's kind of inevitable. But now that we've mixed in a bunch of blurs, I can use my color picker tool to pick out some middle colors rather than just work with red and not red. If I can find them, there they are. That's interesting. What I've done here by accident is create like a little bulge, a little wave in the lava by having one side light and one side red. That's really interesting. So we could play around with that. Like there, we've created like little ridges in the lava. That's really cool. So this could be hot, real hot here. I guess it should be hot on this side. And then more red here. It's an interesting idea. I think I'll play around with it. We can have kind of waves of lava radiating out from his face. The middle color for over here. And if we keep those waves rather large, then it's not going to look like water, it's going to look like a viscous liquid, aka lava. That's the plan anyway, we'll see if it works. Modern layers, yeah. Man, I am not the sort of artist that can just work with like oil paints or like most traditional mediums. I lean heavily on the conveniences of layers. Yeah, quite a distinct wave there. If we don't like it, we can just disable this layer and it should go back to how it was before. It kind of makes these platforms look super unsteady as well, which I like. And also it kind of makes the guy look like he's screaming, like these are little audio waves. Maybe that's how... Maybe this guy is screaming, and that's why the villagers want your adventurers to go up and sort this mess out, because well, just the other night the mountain started screaming and it hasn't stopped. None of us can sleep. Would you go sort it out? And then lo and behold, they get up here and there's a literal face screaming. How's this? I quite like it. We need some down here, I think. Oh, I see. So this needs to come back watercolors. Yeah, I've tried painting with watercolors like twice in my life, and it's a skill I want to work on. I do want to learn it, but it's one of those skills I can tell it's not going to come naturally to me. I'm going to have to really try, which is like a fun challenge. I don't believe in not being able to do a thing. Like all those people that say, oh wow, that's really good, and I can't, I could never learn to draw. I think they're selling themselves short. Anyone can learn to draw, especially to like this level. What I do is rather simple, I think. If you just commit the time, and sure, lots of people just don't have the time, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you just set your mind to it, you can learn any skill. And then people who are natural at it might go further with it than you ever could, but you can become proficient at just about anything. So anyway, yeah, that's what I want to do with watercolors is make a weekend of it or something. Sit down with some watercolors, watch some YouTube tutorials, and figure that thing out. Okay, it's a decent effect. I'm still not really feeling it. I think it's the shapes just aren't the way I want them. Yeah, that's it. You're natural at something, it gives you a head start, but I think it's a trap to sell ourselves short. It's kind of like an unhealthy mindset to think you're incapable of growth. Okay, what might have to happen is we just reduce this contrast to make this effect a little less pronounced. Yeah, okay. I think that's it. Pretty happy with that. So let me have a little be right back session, guys, so I can visit the toilet, refill my glass of water, etc., and I'll be right back to finish this off. So let me do our temporary be right back scratching. This. Oh, hold on. Okay, that'll do. Be right back, everyone. Give me 2 minutes. Hello, hello. I'm back from my break. Webcam is horribly exposed, just the way I like it. A little bit low. How's that? Thanks, Gweebles. So we're out of the color blocking stage, which is nice, and we're into the fussing over colors / texturing phase, which we've kind of combined today to one. But heading in the right direction. Thing is, this, well, we haven't really started up here, so it's normal that this is a strange color. It'll kind of just be a different shade of then I guess our plaque up here just be catching the glow of the lava and be a rather red color. We also are far from finished with this general shadow layer, this one. And we also need to cast that general shadow on the top of our gate. Just diving right in. In fact, we just need a whole bunch of shadow will help tie this piece together. Not a whole bunch of shadow, but getting the lights and the shadows in first will make selecting colors easier. So let's get to it. That's my #1 tip for amateur map artists. Let me think about that one a bit. Tyrian Blade. For amateur map artists, so kind of just starting out. #1 tip. Well, I guess for me, the actual design of the battle map is more important than the aesthetics, like the technical detail. So work on making a battle map that's fun to play on, whether or not it's colored in with a fancy color scheme and a bunch of texturing and work put into it, or if it were just black and white. Like, the most important elements shouldn't be that it looks cool, but that there's interesting things, memorable things for the players to do and interact with. And you don't necessarily need any artistic skills to pull that off. That's mostly a DM skill kind of thing, right? Designing things for your characters to do. That's kind of the job description for a DM. And if you can do that, then artistic skills are just kind of icing on the cake. Yeah, if the shadows affect gameplay, that is. So maybe you have like a magical sun / source of light that hurts to be in, and so your players want to dash from shadow to shadow in order to be safe. And that's kind of what I mean. Things that affect the battle, not just purely aesthetics. Ledges, yes, ledges are a big kind of strategic element, especially if you give people advantages for being high up, for example, or having like a height advantage. And yeah, cool environment to interact with. So like our last 2 temples had very distinct things to interact with. The jungle temple was all about choosing your path in order to get to the gate. You could go left and undergo a bunch of athletics checks, or you can go right and undergo some acrobatics checks. But basically what you want to avoid is having a battle map where everybody rushes to the middle and then roll dice until someone's dead. You want there to be other little things for the characters to do, be it they have to deactivate a magical turret, or they have to retrieve an object in order to make the enemy vulnerable. so that when it comes to your player's turn, they have choices to make that aren't simply what kind of damage, how much damage can I roll this turn. And I don't necessarily make use of that in all of my maps. Some of my maps, I'll admit, is just cool locations, like this one. Actually, this one's pretty good. This is like an obstacle course to actually get to the main part of the battle map. And they have to risk falling in lava the whole way or being knocked in. And then when they get to the gate, I imagine some sort of riddle to open it up. But in the actual battle stage, I guess the platforming will be the main challenge. So I like this dark shadow we're working with here. I think that's going to do most of the work of interesting colors and textures. Like, I want to reduce this. Kind of let this carry the day. So that's the gift that a little break can do. Is that when you come back, usually you can see what you need to do next. There's an artist pro tip. Is don't neglect your toilet breaks. Yeah, Weebles is right. Anytime a map goes down on the table, your players are instantly on high alert for combat. They're like, oh, there's a grid now we have to worry about? I guess that means combat's coming. This rock here is a very strange shape. Yeah, Mithrils is right. It's a pretty good life tip. Just trying to suggest some form in all these rocks. Oh yeah, and hydrate yourself. This coffee, it's like 6:30 p.m. Still drinking coffee. That's finished. Food can wait. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Do keep up on your food, and especially hydration. Yeah, not just caffeine, but the clear variety as well. I haven't really rendered any shadows on top of our blue rock layer, and I kind of like the effect it has. Like, maybe these rocks are alive with some sort of energy. So they're kind of glowing just enough to not hold a shadow. try a different color in just a bit. I'm going to worry about food in about an hour's time if we're not done by then. But I hope to be done by then because I still have to package this map and the tokens today. So we're kind of on the home stretch now, guys. Getting the shadow down. We just have to get the colors right, which heaven knows how long that's going to take. And play around with the lava. Yeah, getting the colors right there. Maybe we need like a... Oh, hold on. That's not gonna work. Let's start the process of playing with colors, shall we? So the first order of business, I want to get the lava just right, since that's the whole theme of dungeon, right? You know, we have this texture underneath. I'm not even sure if I want it. Maybe it just needs to be reduced. And this also is a good time for lava reference images. Lava. I want this very hot yellow stuff that kind of blows out the exposure of the camera. That man is way too close to lava. Bad idea, sir. See, now the other option, we have a layer somewhere here. Perhaps this one. Is we can go for that kind of cooling lava look where it's partially quite dark. You know, since we're getting into colors, I'm going to make a duplicate and we're going to work on the duplicate just in case we want to undo the changes we're about to make. So we're going to go with like purpley, kind of grey, kind of similar to our stone. So yeah, that's quite interesting. I think we're, if we go down this road, we'll be happy. Now we also need to consider the players who will be on this map. We don't want it to be unclear what's lava and what's not. So like in here, this kind of looks like it's traversable. And we don't want things to kind of look traversable. We want it to be very either or. For the DM's sake, because I have it at my table where players always asking, can I stand here? Can I walk here? Is this half tile traversable? And where we can, I like to avoid that. So just play around, get like a hot kind of color in. That's kind of an interesting effect, like a filter, I guess. I think in here, like a hot gray. Yeah, this is kind of what we want to play with. So now it's a different color, right? We have our blue land and our red lava. I think this contrast in here needs to come down since we're adding darker colors. Yeah, like much closer here. We can kind of just convert this to a soft light. And let's just keep it normal. We had a surrounding. This layer 2 needs to be... Oh, that's peculiar. Let's boost that back, and then this will be our cold lava color. Do I draw other things in my free time? I do try to draw in my free time, but mostly I only have time, I only have enough creative energy for maps. And then by the time all the maps are done, like my creative appetite is satisfied. So I don't draw a lot in my free time, but sometimes I do try and study things that aren't maps. Like I've done little studies of faces before. That's why this face resembles a face. Not precisely, but it does look vaguely like a face. That's thanks to some of the small studies I've done on faces. But the answer is no, not much. It is quite a ruddy, orangey red. See, lava can vary wildly in color depending on the camera and like the exposure levels. So I think I just have to stick to one or two of these reference images. That's a really nice one. But it does really, like, again, depending on the camera, it can really blow out all the way to white in the hot areas. But I think we're not going to go all the way to white. We're going to keep yellow as kind of our hottest area. Try and keep the saturation quite high. This will be our hottest area within his mouth. And eyeballs. It's kind of the through line with all these lava reference images. There's a very high contrast between the hot spots and the not so hot spots. So this look that we have, where quite dark. You can see, to me it looks distinctly better. I'm not like 100% satisfied, but it does look much better. And then here is just where it's overexposed, so to speak. But now that we've muddled with the contrast in the lava, we have to follow through with the rest of the image. I wonder if we want this close to purple. I wonder if we should push this up into a vague atmospheric light kind of shadow. Kind of on the lava spectrum of colors. That's funky in a good way. Like I found if we want an obsidian surface, a mixture of like a blue-gray and a red-gray side by side gets the job done, like we have here. Let me check on Twitch chat every now and then. Still good. Let's try the same thing here. But I like how hot we've made his interior. So we've definitely succeeded there. This color might need to be a little different. Even a tad semi-transparent. These glows on the cliff too, they need to decide, well, I need to have them kind of play nicely with the rest of the lava. What we could do is kind of use, that's rather interesting. It kind of looks better. It doesn't look so messy without this layer. So what I'll do is I'll replace this layer with just a flat color. Oh, that's the wrong selection. Here, please. And just choose like a red somewhere in the lava range. And I'll toggle that on and off and show you the difference there. So this lava texture, we started with it and it did a good job, but it's just a bit too purposelessly messy. So just a flat color here is kind of what we want. It's like a deep red. That looks pretty good. And then maybe this general glow here, we can stretch that out rather more. Why have we got a two-layer thing going on here? I don't think we need that. Okay, so that looks a lot better to me than with all of that mess. That's kind of what it looks like. It just looks like mess. I'm trying to keep things controlled level of complexity. Getting a bit lost on the layers because nothing has a name still yet. I think we want this whole gradient to be more dramatic. I'm going to push further into the red at the edge. Now, also I don't need to be too dramatic with the light here, since I do want this very gentle light over the top. It's not very gentle, but I want to redo it. This is just kind of like a haze. So it's just going to go here and be like a... In fact, it's going to go underneath the shadow layer, and that'll give it a very hard look. So if I can find the shadow layer. Where did we put that? In the land? Yeah. No. I can do that much smarter. Because we want it, yes, above everything, but we're going to just remove the shadow area from it. talking. It's kind of having that effect where it's obscuring the edge between the land and the lava. So we need to keep it rather controlled. But you can see it's just like we're turning up the temperature. Okay, well, we've passed the 3-hour mark. Bless you. Bless you. But we are still going to get this done tonight. Hey, Conservative Old, welcome to the stream. You're here just for like the home stretch where adding the last little touches. I think we're going to put a glow up here as well for these cracks. Yeah, you can see that's doing the job nicely. I'm rather in love with this very simple effect. Just light and shadow in 2 shades with some big bold lines. That's really all we need. And I really like this gradient we have from the blue to the like magenta through here. Just wondering if there's a way I can remove this as a selection from the light without Excuse me, I'm just like lost in thought here. Well, what we definitely need to do is get a color for these rocks, because this whole time they've just been a temporary blue. And I quite like this look where they're kind of catching the lava light. So I'm gonna color pick from over here and see what they look like as that color. But basically, find something in this range that we like. Quite like if we go with this pink, it does give a nice atmospheric light. And we can push into the purple blue area or gray. It's a lot of options. Or make it the same material as this Torii gate. That might be a fun effect. Which is kind of a red, but not precisely. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. Let me just stare at it and ponder for a bit. Yeah, so often what I like to do is have a gradient for bright lights. This is kind of like the bloom effect from the really bright lights. If I turn that way up, you can see it in way up glory. But if we get something controlled and then we have another layer in a shadowy blue, then we can push this into the shadows and get a just kind of up the contrast of the entire image. Like a faint vignette. We've got like a light vignette over here and then like a dark vignette over here, which quite like that that effect we have. We'll just make it a bit better. It's way too opaque right now, but we'll control that in just a bit. So it's like these little bits at the end can tie everything together, kind of in the kind of your last chance to make it work, and I like what we're getting at here. Just need it not quite so dramatic. You can see the effect that that step has had. And if we put these together, this light, the bloom and the shadow effect together, you can see how much of an effect that has had on the whole thing. Basically, it's elevated it from this being very flat to this having like a well thought out depth to it. Also, why is my camera staring at the roof? I'm down here, man. And I'm pretty much satisfied with this map. I think this needs to be brighter. Needs to catch some more light. Since I imagine this is like a gold surface, very reflective. Or we can make it a stone surface, because it's kind of drawing a lot of attention this way, the way it is. Maybe if it's gold surface, it would be close to... Yeah, that looks natural. And then his mouth glow also seems a bit too saturated. Maybe more orange here. But we're just making a few final little tweaks. And then, of course, right at the end, well, we're going to add some, like the exposure. I like to just run this back and forth and see if it helps the case. Often the final step for me is just boosting the brightness a bit, because it's a habit of mine to paint very, very dark and muted colors. And we do want quite a low gamma. Maybe also play with this, not that one particularly. Then we can toggle these two layers and see if we're moving in the right direction. But the fun thing is, we can also just kind of lessen the effect with the opacity. Now the fun thing is, we made a duplicate of the image so we can compare this one with what we had probably an hour ago. Right as soon as I've edited this, because these are too dull. They don't look like lights right now. Something like that. Yeah. So you can see where we've come from. It's changed a lot in the last hour or so. Really interesting. But we're like 99% of the way there. I just need to save this, because this is still a duplicate that we're working with. Let's save that over here. And now I want to open up our other two temples that we've been working on and just look at them side by side and make sure that the levels of contrast and the light and dark are all kind of consistent. So we've got Ice Temple. You can see here the colors are quite muted. Now that was basically on purpose, since we've got like an icy haze in the air, like a mist. One PSD. That's not it. Come to think of it, our jungle temple, I didn't really like the exposure on this one. Was this it? Actually, this one's okay. You can see it, like this one, yeah, I guess it's alright. So there's our jungle temple, our ice temple, and then our fire temple. You can see the saturation is way higher than the other ones. So what I want, these doing a good job, I guess we'll keep those. I mean, not the saturation, but the contrast, and the saturation too. I still want to bump that up, bump this down. So that when they're side by side, they don't look like different artworks. They're like, yeah. It's amazing the sense of scale is different. This one, the thinner lines make it look like it's so much further off. This one looks like we're closer to the ground, but really the scale looks so different because we have a fire giant sized gate up here. But if we enable the grid, you can see this is just a very large area with a very large gate. And I guess we can put the grid on here too, and that'll... Okay. Yeah, everyone, I think we can call this one done. I'll probably do a few more tweaks off stream. Inevitably I will, as I never stop tweaking until it's actually on Patreon, and even then I sometimes upload a new version secretly without anyone knowing, where a few new tweaks have been made. But as for stream, we are finished. I mean, I'm still doing things on stream right now, but yeah, I'm calling it. It's done. It's done. Gotta take my hands off it. I'm gonna put it out the door as is, and if I see anything unforgivable about it, then I'll upload a new version. But I hope you've all enjoyed the stream, and thanks for keeping me company and sharing your input and ideas, and making it an extra fun map drawing. If you did enjoy yourself, please remember to hit that follow button so you're notified next time we go online. It'll be sometime after Tuesday next week, because I'm taking a little holiday for the start of the month. So, if you're a patron, you can look forward to seeing this up there in an hour or 2 or 3, depending on when I have dinner. Otherwise, this will go up on my store, my website store, in probably 2 or 3 weeks. Mithrils asks what I plan to make next. I'm probably going to start next month with another token pack, monster tokens. But I'll make a Patreon post when I do my monthly rundown. I'll ask everyone what they want to see, and I'll go from there, because I'm not entirely sure. But I think starting with the tokens, kind of eating the frog, doing the hard thing first, will be the way I go. Exciting. Yeah, I'm not sure what monsters yet, but we'll do something fun. I'll also have time next month to work on this stream and getting all the widgets nice, working out how Twitch works, how raids work, and how hosting works, and how to grow the followership. It looks like we're up to 288 followers, so big thanks to everyone who followed us today. Let me check out my feed. I'm going to name names. So looking at 3 hours ago when we started, 4 hours ago. Thanks DZ Colby, thanks Boomser for the host. Thanks Geek Dice and Tyrion Blade and Conservative Old for the follows. We didn't quite make our goal of 300, but that's probably because I didn't make a big post on Reddit like I did the other time. But I will probably do that when I post this map. So we're going to get to 300 eventually. There's no rush. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping me company. And I'm going to go now. So look forward to downloading this map. Bye bye.